in.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to The Lean on this Wednesday night. I'm here with Antonio to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Let's lean in and get into this episode called Vacation Crashers, Season 4, Salt Lake City. Last week, I was here with Jamie. I'm here with Antonio this week. And as I said, you'll be seeing myself, Antonio, Jamie, and Chad throughout the season. Whether it's a full panel or just two of us, somebody will be here and we'll be discussing it weekly. Make sure you guys like this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. Antonio, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing good. It's, midweek. It's been a long, it ain't been long. It's been long enough.
It's been long enough. That's a good answer.
It's been long enough. I know you just got back from vacation. And so you probably refreshed, or maybe you need a vacation after the vacation. I'm not sure. But
you know how it goes. You still need a couple of days after that vacation to readjust. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I know you went here last week to talk about the premiere. But before we get into tonight's episode from yesterday, what's your thoughts on the season thus far? Season 4, we've done this season since season 1, I believe. I know it started with myself and Jamie, but you and Chad were this panel has been the same since the beginning, at least since the beginning of the first season. So, what are your thoughts thus far? Because we have said for 4 seasons now that we were not going to return.
Yeah.
We said we were drained, we were tired, but since you were here last week, what are your thoughts on the season thus far?
Thus far, I think that the season looks promising. I from what I've seen, I think with the 2 girls that they added as snowflakes, one we had already, Angie, we've seen her before, and then Monica, I think they did a good job casting so far, because it seems like Monica is open a lot, like she is willing to share everything that she has going on, and Angie is so thirsty and delusional, so she's that makes for a good addition as well sometimes. So I'm with it. I think the season seems like it's going to be good, so hopefully it stays on that path, especially after tonight. So
okay. Shout out to those watching right now. I see such a harsh realities here. How you doing? Sass K is here. Hey Sass, what's going on? It's been a while. Classic ladies here. And if you're here, let us know where you're that you're watching, where you're watching from. I see that Taylor, not Taylor Collins, it's his baby daddy's, is in the chat. Hey Taylor. Don't let the beers fool you, chat. I can be a baby mama too.
That's great.
Before we do get into the episode as well, I saw a comment from Class Lady asking about the taglines. So I wanted to get your thoughts. Did you get a chance to see the taglines? I don't know if you watched the episode, but I actually saw the clip and heard the taglines. Did you hear them?
I didn't hear the taglines. No.
So I was trying to type them real fast while I was doing it. So I'll read them out, and you tell me which one is your favorite. Now I'm not trying to be like them. I'm gonna read it as if it was a book. Lisa Barlow finally slowed down. Last year she was going so damn fast. But this year she says, "I'm on a mission to serve Lisa, and I love that for myself." That's her tagline.
Okay.
Yeah. You feeling?
I mean, we know Lisa loves herself, so that makes sense. So,
and she tied in her son going on a mission, right? So I guess that makes sense. And then Angie K was Angie K's tagline is, "I might be Greek, but don't expect an olive branch." I was like, okay, I get it, but
yeah,
sure, whatever. Heather's is, "I own a beauty empire, so I don't need any of your lip service." You don't like that?
No, I kind of like that.
Okay. Yeah. And like I said, I'm not reading like that. I'm not trying to be a housewife, so I'm not gonna read it like that. I'm just reading it because I'm just reading like if it was a damn book. Now Meredith, which is my favorite, says, "Well, it was in a town full of dirty lies. Everyone could use a bath." Okay.
Okay.
I ain't gonna
Okay.
lie, that kind of
Yeah.
remind me of some
Yeah.
things that Kyle has said in the past. I think she said something like that before, like in a town of something.
I
But
think
I
she said in a town full of she did she had said something
it was
similar
something
to
about a
that.
town full of something. So I mean, we've heard a version of that before, but she tied it in, to the whole situation between her and Whitney.
Yeah.
Um, who was this? Is this? Who was? I keep my friends closer, my secrets closer. Who's that? That's Monica. Monica, the new girl. She said, "I keep my
Okay.
friends, but my secrets closer." You're not feeling that? No? Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, and then Whitney's was having faith in myself is the only religion that I need. Meh.
Okay. Yeah.
Who would be
But
your favorite?
I do think Meredith and Heather have the best
Yeah,
to me. Yeah.
I like Heather's. I like Heather's. I think it's
Yeah.
cute.
Yeah.
You know what? I think a lot of the Salt Lake City. I think the reason why the Salt Lake City taglines don't hit as hard, also because the song behind it just doesn't flow too well. It's almost like at this point, I don't believe Lisa was rushing. I believe they were rushing them because everybody
Okay.
it's not a flow. The
Okay.
song
Okay.
and the taglines just don't go. That's just my opinion because the taglines were fine this season, but still, I find myself like I feel like they were always rushing. It was like, oh, here, come on, girls, come on, girl. It was really quickly, but yeah, I think my favorite is Meredith. I like Heather's, and yeah, we'll just go with that. Like Class Lady said, Team Bathtub, okay, Team
Yeah.
Bathtub,
But
inside and out.
none of these were, I think, like terrible. Like,
Yeah, no,
like
they weren't
were
bad.
well, yeah.
No, they weren't bad. Weren't bad. All right, so let's get into the episode. So, the beginning of the episode, we get a scene with Lisa and Meredith. Now, last week's episode, Meredith pulled Lisa to the side and said that she wanted to have a conversation and get back on track with their friendship. We know that they have not really been cool since the whole New York horror, sleeping with everybody, slender lies, or whatever in season 2. And so they're catching up. They talk about Jack going on his mission. They talk about their relationship. I like how Meredith kind of basically says that we have both done things that, things to hurt each other. We've both done wrong. And so I like that because I will say in any type of relationship where you want to reconcile or see some kind of growth, you have to at that point, you have to acknowledge if there's been wrong on both ends. And I can't think really what Meredith has done, but I'm sure out of retaliation, she's done some things that are still hurtful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think she did some stuff or she said some things last season,
Correct, correct.
kind of
So
like,
it's good that she acknowledged that and was able to own her part in that. Um, and so I wanted to ask you: do you miss their friendship?
I it's not that I missed their friendship, because to me, it wasn't like they were some type of dynamic duo, I guess.
Yeah,
But I do like for them at least to be in a space where they can coexist. Like I don't think that it'll ever be like how it was, prior to, the hot mic moment or whatever. But I think that the show just works better when people are okay with being in one another's space. Like, and they at one point just kind of seemed like they like hated each other. So
yeah,
I'm glad to see some type of growth there. And I agree with what you said. They both kind of, they both took ownership for something that they done or for their part in the demise of the relationship. So
yeah,
that was really big to see.
yeah. Makes sense. And so I don't really have any thoughts about this scene. It was kind of like just you have any other thoughts on this part? No.
No, other than Meredith's outfit was
Uh, um,
something.
her Renaissance ball outfit in the snow. Renaissance in the snow.
Oh man, yeah, but yeah.
Okay. So then we get another scene of another friendship that has gone through the pits of hell. Not as long as Lisa and Meredith, but it definitely I feel like it's gone. I feel like it's gotten worse, in my opinion, than theirs. Well, yes and no, just because of them being like, these cousins and this friendship and their relationship is just so I don't know. I feel like Lisa and Meredith can salvage it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't feel like Whitney and Heather can. And so Whitney and Heather get together, they match, they catch up. And I was going to ask you the same question for them. Do you miss their friendship? Do you miss, what was it called? The bad
Bad
weather.
weather.
Do you miss bad weather?
I, see, I can't. I don't think I miss the friendship now, because they didn't. I don't know. They weren't like when I think like even a Cynthia Nini or a Phaedra and Candy or something like. They just weren't.
Yeah.
No. So no, I don't necessarily miss it though.
Okay. Okay, so they talk about the event that Heather had. Whitney is just like, I'm surprised you had Meredith. I didn't know y'all were cool like that. And Heather talks about everybody that she invited, and how everybody that she did not invite was brought via +1, like Monica, Angie K, I think Mary was too. And so they get through that. They talk about Angie K and that apparently Angie whispered to Lisa and asked Lisa about Jack's mission, which is something that she has withheld from Heather. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the book. I'm not really sure why she didn't want to talk to her about it, but she says in the little hidden scene, the cut scene was that it's not for everybody to know, or not. It's not for everybody to hear. And so Heather, she talks about her experience. She says that she did a mission, I think 1995 through 1997, and how she was back and how she was different, and they showed them Mormon outfits, and she kind of Whitney feels like that Heather is kind of intruding in Jack's decision to go on this mission. That's what she says, that she feels like that she shouldn't be doing that. But also in the same scene, Heather questions Lisa. Is it Mormonism? Is that what it would be?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
She questions it because she feels like she doesn't live like the typical Mormon. But I'm like, this is something you question 4 years later. I mean, I could have said season 1. It don't seem like she seemed.
I want to say one of y'all did say that, but
yeah, I mean, right. But hey, she sees it now, and so she just has concerns that when Jack returns, he won't be the son that Lisa recognizes or wants, whatever. Whitney doesn't like that. And I'll say this. I can already see in this moment how Whitney and Heather get back on bad terms, because Whitney is clearly, she's closer with everybody. She's close to everybody that Heather is not.
Yeah.
And Whitney is not a loyal person. She's not like, I don't think she's a loyal person. She's never shown loyalty, in my opinion. So the fact that she's on, really good terms with Lisa, even though we know they do fall out later. I think they do fall out later. I think there was something came out about them like not being cool. Like, we'll see. And Angie K, I was like, you know what? I can already see from this scene, this is where they're gonna fall out, because Lisa gonna be doing things that not Lisa, Whitney gonna be doing things with the other girls that Heather just does not like, and that's what's gonna happen, right? Yeah. And so what are your thoughts on this scene in terms of the relationship between Angie K and Heather? Honestly, I didn't really think their issue was that deep. I mean, I know that Angie said some things last year, but I just find it hard to believe that Heather is mad at these things that Angie has said when people have said worse. But I guess I will be confused, because Heather is very picky, choosy on who and what she wants to be mad at. Because most times she's laughing about it, but then because it's Angie's, like, it's not. I don't know. Give me your thoughts.
I didn't even really remember what Angie did to Heather either. I was like, why? I don't remember really why she's mad, but because Heather is such I guess Heather doesn't really see a value in being friends with Angie, so she's okay with kind of staying mad at Angie because she doesn't see any value in that friendship. So maybe that's what's going on there. I can tell Whitney and Heather. Yeah, Whitney was already working. She came in. She knew that Heather didn't know anything about Jack going on the mission. Heather wasn't even in the, right there with them when it was being talked about. So she kind of dropped that bomb. And then when Heather started to go in and, how Jack is going to come back just a completely different person than how we went in and so on and so forth, and talking about, Lisa being a Mormon or not because she drinks and all of that. Whitney did not say anything. She really kind of just like, oh, I don't know. And I don't know. So I think that was a way of her to still have her hand in the mess, but not necessarily, talking about Lisa. So if it got back, she could say, well, I didn't say anything. I did mention, X, Y, and Z, but I didn't say anything negative about it. I wasn't surprised at Heather's reaction though, just because we kind of seen how she's gone, with the whole Mormon thing over the past 4 years or so. So I wasn't surprised at her reaction at all.
Okay.
But I wish she would have went a little bit more into detail, like how she thinks he's gonna be different when he comes back.
I mean, she just kind of what I got from it was that when he gets back, he's gonna be going door to door and he's gonna be doing all these things. She made it seem like he's gonna come back and be like a damn robot or something. Like
that's what I was thinking. Like, is he gonna come back and be like, oh, then he gotta have 7 wives and 45 kids?
Well, I mean, as Heather, personally, I think another reason that she decided to remove herself from being, I guess a bad Mormon or whatever she went to classify herself, is because of her previous husband. I think that left a bad taste in her mouth. And I think when it comes to Jack going to be, going on this mission, maybe she has the PTSD of him coming back and turning, like you said, having all these lives. I don't know. That's just she left so much room for interpretation. I don't know. I just go about what I would think, but maybe she'll go into it more. I'm sure Whitney will probably pass the message to Lisa and let her know that Heather had thoughts and opinions on her son going, and I'm sure Lisa's gonna flip.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna come up again.
It's gonna come up again because I right. That's just me knowing these shows like we know them, right? So, okay. So then we get Meredith and Seth, and they're not in the tub. If I was them, if I was Meredith, I would have been in the tub every scene
with Seth,
just to be like, man, talk about it now. And I would have been in different tubs, okay?
in different rental properties.
Just to be like, okay, yeah. But Meredith, she's not that quick on the feet, apparently. But they started a podcast and they're talking about everything but relationships. More so about boogers in his nose and things like that. But hey, whatever. It seemed like it's something that they are enjoying doing. Meredith is planning the first trip of the season, and the girls are going to Palm Springs. They're staying at the Trixie Hotel, which I thought was very cool because you watch Drag Race, right?
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't watch, even if you don't watch Drag Race, you know who Trixie is. I would hope she won one of the All Stars seasons, and she's like one of the biggest drag queens to come from that show. She's had success in all ways, and the hotel that she opened in Palm Springs, I actually watched that show when she was.
I didn't know it was a show until I Googled about it.
Yeah, it was a show. I think it was last year. It was last year, and a friend of mine here, Maya, who's also a part of the lean. She actually invited me to go with her to the premiere of it, and they showed the premiere. That's why I know, like, oh shoot, like it is. Oh, it's been a year now, so that's actually pretty cool. But they're staying there. Apparently, she knows Trixie, and they're gonna stay there. But she does not want to invite Angie K. And so hearing this, what you think? Like, what were your thoughts?
I was like, oh, that because I was kind of surprised at the second episode and they're already kind of going on a trip.
Yeah.
That was kind of surprising to me, but I'm kind of glad about it because like you always say, I like it better when the ladies are. I'm okay with the one-on-one scenes or whatever, but we know the best stuff happens when there is a group scene, especially when they're traveling on one of these vacations or whatever. So I'm glad that she didn't invite Angie, but then I'm also glad at what Angie decided to do. So
what did she decide to do?
When she decided to crash the trip.
She didn't crash the trip. She was invited, just not by the host.
So that means she is crashing it. Yes.
That's crazy. We'll talk about that. Something about that scene that just irked my soul. But the next scene was with Angie and her husband, who does hair. And I ain't gonna lie, I was very fascinated, and it just kind of turned me on that this man does hair. And he's so like, just a regular guy. And I love that just for everybody. I love it for us who are gay men to do hair, but the fact that he's not, not a gay male, and he has a wife, has kids, I would never question sexuality even now that he does hair. I love it. I was just like, huh. Which I never really knew much about Angie K. I mean, other than she showed her house, I don't think we ever met her husband, have we?
No, that's why I was kind of surprised about that as well. I was like, and I was thinking, I was like, I don't think we've really met her husband at all. So it was interesting to see, because to look at him, I would have thought he was, I don't know, hell, doing whatever John Barlow does or whatever Seth does. So to find out that he is in the beauty industry, that was kind of cool.
And I think that's so possible. I see a comment in here, Sass K. You don't you should be progressive. Be progressive. That's the wrong mentality to have. That's why some people struggle with the things they struggle with. But I personally found this to be a great representation, to see that a man can be in the industry and still be with the woman, will love a woman. Personally, as a gay male, because toxic masculinity is a real thing, and I just feel like it was progressive for me to see that. So.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was great. It was great to see, and I'll just leave it at that. It was really good to see that.
Okay, so we found out about them. So she has, I think you said 10 salons.
10 salons.
Cosmetology school.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like obviously she's a housewife, so we're learning more about her. I was very intrigued to be like, oh, like, okay, Angie K, I still don't really like you like that, but I like to know that you are about your business. Yeah. She's with her daughter. They have a nice home. And I thought that was nice to see more about her as well. But she talks about her relationship with Lisa. And she kind of brushes it off to her husband by saying like, oh, well, her son is going on a mission, so we've kind of been distant because of that. And I'm like, I would have never thought y'all had a problem, because he basically questioned like, I haven't seen you talking to Lisa like a lot in a while. But then he talks about Heather. She talks about Heather and just doesn't know, I still don't understand the beef in this moment even then, but she talks about Heather not inviting her initially to the party, and things like that. And just talks about how she knows Heather apparently from high school. So apparently everybody knew Heather from high school, college, because Lisa knew who she was. Salt Lake City must be a very small town. I mean, but it must be like, as Phaedra said, 2 high schools, one middle school, because it's like they all know each other. And I just find it so hard to believe being in this place, but they do. Lisa knows Heather. Whitney knows Heather. Heather was the girl. I mean, she was the girl.
Clearly. They've known each other since like 10th grade and Mr. whatever his name was, his class. So I was like, okay, wow. That I like to see that type of stuff on Housewives. I like to know that there is some type of history there with some of them. So that was, I was like, I wasn't expecting her to say that they went to high school together though. So
yeah. Any thoughts on this scene about Angie K, her life, her husband, the relationship between her and Lisa, and also Heather?
Yeah, I agree. I never recognized that there was an issue between Angie and Lisa, and I don't think that Lisa knows that there's a possible issue as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that kind of shakes out with Angie, because we know Angie is quite thirsty, so she's willing to go the extra mile to make something happen. So
BKZ Empress, you're right. We did see him, but I don't feel like I really paid attention to him much last year. She said that. Then we see him at the event when they confronted Jen about not paying back for the party, paying them back for the party.
You know what? Okay.
I don't remember.
Because Coach apologized to him or something like that.
It was something like that. I remember the scene. I don't recall.
I still didn't know that he was like, a hair salon. Oh. I just knew that they had, they had bought that new house and they had a good little coin over there, but I just didn't know it was the beauty industry that he was involved in. So,
same, likewise. All right, so now this scene made me cringe. I ain't gonna lie, this next scene. Now, whereas last week I said I do like Monica, And I'm like, okay, she's a great casting choice. She let me down in this scene because I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to do in this scene, but it's not cute, especially for the person that you're portraying. So we get more of a glimpse. We get a glimpse of her life, her family, her kids. I think she has 4, right?
Yes,
4.
four
And
daughters, I think.
the oldest, she's pretty big. I don't know how old she is. She damn near like her sister. Like she's a
I thought
big
she was
girl.
17.
That's right, 17. Actually, you know what? When let me see, yeah, it's about the same age I was on my mom. So I know what that's like, right? Um, Nonetheless, she needs help with the kids because she's about to go on a trip to Palm Springs with the girls. But she makes a comment to her mother saying that she feels like she's out of her league. And I ain't gonna lie, when I saw this scene last week or in the preview or the trailer, whatever, I was like, 50% of me said, I know damn well she not trying to keep up with these girls. But then the other half of me was like, they're gonna apply. It's gonna be taken out of context. It's gonna be something different. Well, child, after watching this episode and finding out that it was because she was trying to keep up with these girls, I nobody on this panel on this floor could ever say that this girl was a fan of the show, because if she was a fan of the show and watched this show, she would know that Salt Lake City do not give fashion. Now they may have a little label this year, but clearly she is mistaken. Now I hate that for her, and I don't even know why this is even a thing, but she basically says that she went to the Louis Vuitton store and bought her a bag because she felt like so she can fit in with these girls. And her daughter had to give her the most sound advice because I'm just like, what is the purpose of this scene? I don't know.
Yeah.
Um, she says that she doesn't want them to make fun of her house and the things that she has because she likes to present herself as a mother who is like strict. Basically, she's all she knows is raising kids because she says she always makes comments about milk being on her and Gerber baby food, whatever stuff like that. She makes comments like that. And so before I get your thoughts, I'll just say this: if this is the person she's going to portray and be, she should probably not be as messy as she's trying to be, because no shade, based off of what you gave us in this scene, you let us know that you live in a glass house and you should not be throwing rocks
At all.
because they're going to come for those things. They're going to come for everything that you have if you come for somebody. And I don't mind coming for whoever, but you should probably not do that if you're really concerned about getting came for. I mean, have someone come for you in terms of what you have, what you don't have, and not having labels. Thoughts?
No, I 100% agree with that. I was so, I don't know, I was caught off guard when she made the comment about the bag. I've seen the clip, but I just thought it was going somewhere completely different. And I'm not gonna lie, I did kind of chuckle a little bit when when she was like, and I bought a Louis Vuitton bag. I was like, girl, what the hell? Like, how old are you? But and then I'm like, in my mind, I'm starting thinking like, okay, can you not really afford to buy the bag? Are you putting yourself, in debt trying to buy this bag to keep up? And it was funny though at the airport when they zoomed in on her bag when they were standing there. But for her to, like you said, be messy like she is in maneuvering in the group, like she is, they are definitely going to attack her. They're not going to say anything about her kids or anything like that, probably, but we know that they will go after your house and how you live and stuff like that. So if she crying about because she don't feel like she fit in because she needed a nice bag, she definitely gonna be crying when they get a hold to that house and they start tearing it apart. So
I want to see the house now. I'm like,
I do
I'm
too.
very Nene. Where you live, bitch?
Where the hell you live at?
Because I'm thinking it's gonna be given Woo Child to Ghetto. The way she's like, she literally, whenever a person feels the need to throw out the things that they know that they lack in,
Yeah,
that's just never good. Because it's kind of like, let me put it out there so that when somebody calls it out, I can say that it's already been said, right? But I just hate that for her. Like, I don't know why she felt the need to film that. I didn't think it was. It was very cringe to me. You bought
felt like she needed something nice, and like you said, they do have on their designers and stuff like that. But I'm like,
this season,
I don't think they really. Well, Mary Martha. She always gave you a. She's gonna give you a Valentino piece or a Tom Brown piece or whatever the case may be. So now definitely I think Whitney and Heather just started giving some designers more recently, but I just, and then is that the bag she bought, like a beige look?
I don't
crossbody.
know. She has mentioned it. I'm gonna be looking at her every episode now. Now I'm gonna be looking every scene. I'm be looking her up and down to see what she got on. Where's the baby milk? And it's crazy that she taking fashion advice from Heather. Come on now, wait. If
I was like
Heather,
the worst dress on the show.
Don't let this little Fendi coat fool you, girl. Like, it's just a Fendi coat.
It's just a Fendi coat. That's it. Right off the mannequin.
Exactly. You would be better off hanging out with Angie K, who was supposed to be your friend anyway, to give you, because I feel like Angie K could probably give you more of a fashion advice. Not saying she's just like the most fashionable girl, but she gives me fashion. I see fashion from her. I even sent her to Mary. I ain't saying I like Mary's fashions, but at least she gonna give you a gaudy auntie label look.
I would have sent it to Lisa.
Lisa, she's labeled, but it's very like, Lisa always looks like she's going to a go see. And that's what I can appreciate, because it's always less is better for her. It's always a label, it's cute, it's never over the top. So
I agree.
It's simple, so it works for her. Clearly she ain't going to Lisa because she know her secret, so I don't think she'll be going to Lisa at all. But it was just bizarre to me to hear somebody say that they're trying to keep up with these girls. We've never ever seen anybody really admit to seeing something like that.
Yeah,
and especially where it would be more relevant, like Beverly Hills, maybe even Atlanta, and that's probably it. In terms of keeping up with the Jones, keeping up with the fashion. Atlanta, Beverly Hills are the only two I feel like that gives us looks, or have given us looks, or at least give us money. Beverly Hills for sure, Atlanta as well, but Jersey, no. Potomac, no. Like none of them other shows. OC, not really. So yeah,
maybe even Miami, I might give them that.
Miami, they be looking good. I do agree. Miami style.
Yeah, but now I'm wondering like how old. I need to Google how old Monica is, because I'm like, usually have like a.
We found out last week. I think she's 30. I said 36. Somebody said 38. So she's 38 or 36. One to two.
Okay. So she's
somebody in the chat confirmed 38, but I thought it was 36. But I think I heard wrong. So she's no more than 38.
Okay. Well, she old enough.
She can like we'll see Sai from New York. She can give us some fashion advice with all them. Not really. No, size tech.
She better see if Jenna can send her a damn gift bag with some stuff in
it. Something. Yeah. Okay. So, class lady, you said 38. I thought it was 36. I need somebody to confirm how old Monica is, because I thought it was 36, but then somebody said 38. So, whatever. She too damn old to be on TV crying about she has to buy a Louis Vuitton bag to keep up with the Salt Lake City girls. She's too old for that, in my opinion.
Man, I don't keep up with the Joneses. I am the Joneses.
Really? She says she ain't neither one of them. So Angie and Whitney get together, and I'm gonna say this scene was so fake to me, just because they were talking about Heather's event, and they're with the husbands too. So Angie and Whitney, Angie her husband, and Whitney her husband are together having dinner, whatever, lunch, whatever. And they're talking about Heather's event, but they talk about basically how Heather gave her speech. Angie feels like everything she said was to everyone but her. Whitney asks her, is she going on the girls' trip? And Angie's like, what girls' trip? Like, what girls' trip? And I'm like, oh, please, girl. You knew damn well about this girls' trip, and you knew damn well you were going to talk about this girls' trip and invite her. But, Angie feels like that Meredith and Heather are getting together to ice her out. Like, they don't want her in the group, want her around. The husband is just like, I don't know why why would Meredith do you like that? You've done so much for her. Angie mentions that, she has done hair for whatever fashion show that Meredith put on for her. She don't understand why she would be so like why she would have an issue with her at all. But Whitney ends up inviting her as her plus one, and Angie's going to go. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the same. I'm like, girl, now you already knew about this trip, and Whitney knew that you knew about this trip and that you were not invited. It
Yeah.
was to me kind of odd that he's like, oh, after all you've done for Meredith, and we lost a third of revenue at one of our locations or whatever because I guess they were doing hair for her or whatever. So Meredith is not gonna like that when she see it. When she finds out that it was said, she gonna have an issue. She gonna have an issue with that because they made it seem like they just kind of did it for her and that there was no payment or anything like that. That like they just kind of volunteered to do it. But I kind of see this whole Heather and Angie thing shaking up, and it seems like it's gonna be them against some of the others a lot throughout the season. So I'm intrigued.
Okay. I don't really have anything else to add. It did seem a little premeditated, just when she kind of said it. But I was like, okay, Whitney, girl, go off, girl. But then this is the scene where Heather is giving Monica shopping advice and fashion, their shopping and things like that. But this is where Monica finds out that Heather doesn't really like Angie, and Heather goes into detail that she does not like her. She just feels like she is not a nice person, has done shady, said and done shady things to her in the past. They show clips of the whole her accusing the whole black eye on them, like having like a scissor. They show her at the table. I think what she said. I think that's when her and Jen were getting into it initially, something like that. I can't remember what happened in that scene, but it was when they were out of town last year. They show every moment in which Heather questioned her friendship with Angie, and she says she's not nice. She's not a nice person. They talk a little bit about Angie's past. I mean, not Angie, Monica's past, and Monica. We found out that she was removed from the church, exiled from the church because she was having sex with her brother-in-law, which is her sister's husband. And I was like,
no, it was her. It's her. Well, her sister-in-law's husband. So it was her husband's sister's husband.
Yeah. And they laugh and kiki about it and talk about how she's really the bad Mormon. And yeah, any thoughts on any of that, specifically that whole cousin faith thing?
I was surprised to find out that she was, I guess, a practicing Mormon at one point, and she, kind of explained that her mom had joined the church, I guess, when she was, younger or whatever. So now I'm really starting to think like, I don't want this to sound bad, but I'm like, are all of her daughters by her ex-husband? Like, was that affair with her brother-in-law, was that like a recent thing or was that early? And she just was kind of like, cause she talked about how when she was excommunicated and once she left the meeting or whatever, how she went and bought so many thongs from Victoria's Secret. I really was not expecting her to say. And then she had she talked about the length of time, like, oh, it was for 18 months. For me, I was like, oh, okay. It seemed like it was given because when they went into the whole, like, well, nothing happened to him and his feet wasn't held to the fire. It was given like you thought that you and that man was gonna be together, and that's why you went ahead and when he said he wouldn't, that's when you decided you was gonna go ahead and out him or out the situation rather.
Yeah, she didn't go into detail. I was wondering too, but I thought that I don't know whose fathers or who of those kids. We know that all we know that she said last week was that her ex-husband cheated on her, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So, but we don't know who that is. We don't know if that's even any of the kids' father.
That's true.
I would probably assume that it's the youngest because she has one that's 3 years old. I'm going to assume that that's probably his. The others, I'm not sure. But then again, like, I don't know because if she's just 38, like, that's pretty young. I don't think she's been in all these different. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I would love to know more about
Yeah.
the timeline of these events because it seems I just want to know because
I'm like, because I wish Heather was like, when were you excommunicated from the church? I think that would have gave us a little bit more insight, you know, in regards to the whole, you know, because it's like, okay, your ex cheated on you, but then I'm like, so who the hell did you cheat on then? Like, so have you been married more than once?
That's what I was thinking. I was like, I had to sit here. I was like, if 1 + 1 = 2, I was just confused. But maybe she seems to be pretty open. You know what I'm saying? So maybe she'll continue to be open. If she's not, they're gonna get it out of her. You know, to put that out there that she, you know, was having sex with her brother-in-law or sister's brother, whatever it was, that's pretty low, especially when it was not even, we didn't really need to know that, to be honest. But it adds more to her character and who she is. So since she's giving that voluntarily, hopefully she'll give us more about who the hell these kids' daddies is. I don't know. Hey, Brittany, well, shout out to Brittany Snell. I believe you're a new viewer. She says, "Oh my God, so happy to find a video with my people recapping the show." Yes, Brittany, we have been recapping this show since season 1. There's actually 4 of us, but there's just 2 of us today. So myself, Antonio, Jamie was here last week. You can check him out, and then Chad as well. So you'll see us throughout the season. But welcome. And she says, I'm curious if the remarriage to her husband was post cheating. That's what we're talking about. We're trying to figure out like what's the timeline.
Yeah.
She'll tell us. But welcome, Brittany. Okay, so the last few scenes, we saw a quick scene with Mary. She was, what did she call? She wanted some dumb.
She called the Trixie Motel.
She called the hotel, and she's trying to figure out they had it, and they said they didn't have it, but they had pizza. And she just
said, Mary said, "Do y'all have 2003 Dom Perignon?"
And he said, no. And she was just like, "What?"
Mary said, "Do y'all have food?" They said, "Well, we got pizzas that you can share." Mary said,
"Maybe she was over it." This is the kind of things that I miss about Mary. Just like it's always like she's on her own little show. I think they know that we like these scenes because they put it in there. It's like it had a connection to the episode, but it had no true connection to what was going on. But it was good to see it. Yeah. Make sure you guys hit that like button too right now. We're towards the end of the show. And like I said, if you're watching, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well. Lunch and Lean tomorrow. So the New York panel did not do a show yesterday because of the VMAs, but they're filming right now, but it's gonna be posted tomorrow. So if you're watching this on Thursday, it'll be posted after the Lunch and Lean for you to watch. They did get together, and it's things are heating up over it. I think they actually filmed the New York reunion tomorrow. So New York's coming to an end. So you can find Jamie, Shantae, Love Jones, myself sometimes, Chad, and Chase are on that panel as the season continues. All right, so the last bit of the Salt Lake City episode is the day of travel. The girls are together. Whitney is not there, and they're trying to figure out where Whitney is. Apparently, she's decided to take her own flight, and they're like, "Oh, okay, nobody's thinking anything of it, right?" We know that that's clearly the reason. The reason why is because of Angie to accommodate her and this whole big surprise pop-up thing, right? And so in the midst of traveling in the bathroom, Lisa loses her ring, her $60,000 ring. She's like freaking out about it. She's all in the trash. Monica was like, she was in the trash looking up through tampons, looking every which way she could to find this ring, while also questioning whether or not it was truly $60,000. And I'm like, well, girl, you should probably hush because you have you are struggling to buy a Louboutin bag. So whatever 60,000, whether it was 60,000 or 6,000, it don't seem like you have either. Monica, I think you should probably hush because you just told us earlier that you are kind of broke, and that's okay.
Was it Monica? I know Mary questioned it,
but Mary said it too. But Monica was making little comments in her confessionals and stuff like that. Okay. She wasn't being very nice about it. I'm like, you should probably hush. Sasuke says, "Do we believe she really lost that ring?" Oh, you think why would she lie? Y'all think she was lying about it? Anybody thinks that? No.
I was thinking, like, to me, a ring, you know, a $60,000 ring that got a little weight on it and everything. I'm like, I mean, I guess if she thought she caught it in her finger when she was pulling up her pants or whatever, and she didn't, I'm like, okay, did she look in her pants? Did it? She didn't hear anything? Huh?
I think it fell in the toilet.
Hey, that's what it actually. That is kind of what it sounded like when they were saying that they went through everything. Because I'm like, if y'all looked on the floor and it was an immediate type of situation when she looked down and she didn't sit on her ring, nobody had time really to scoop the ring up. So yeah, and I'm like, but and then you didn't hear it make a noise or anything either. So yeah, she probably flushed it.
If it's $60K, why wasn't it fitted? I don't know. I mean, maybe it was. I don't know. That's a very good question.
It is.
You know, I don't got no rings on my hand, so I don't know what it's like to be fitted for. But by this picture, Brittany, it looks like you would know. Because if this is actually you, this is a beautiful picture, by the way. But I don't know. I would say it should be fitted, but I'm gonna say that it went in the toilet because it based off of the scenario of her feeling it. If you would hear a ring hit the ground, that's a big ring, and then I mean, it's only so many places it can go in the bathroom. Like those little airport bathrooms, unless you went to the one closer to like the gates and stuff like that. I just feel like it went in the toilet. That's the only explanation. Like I'm glad she looked for it, but she has to know that she probably flushed it down with her urine. That's what happened to it. Because I mean, there's no way.
If it's not in her pants as it was slipping off when she was pulling up her pants, then if she truly lost it, then yeah, it went in the toilet. Or unless she, you know, it did fall off and she didn't hear it and she walked out and somebody else walked in, they was probably like, her bad, you know, my come up, and they scooped that thing up.
So if you was in the bathroom, you saw their ring, you would take it. You wouldn't say somebody lost their ring.
I can't say that I would. If I'm in a public bathroom like that and I did not see who came out of the stall or who dropped it or anything like that, and I just walk in the stall and there's a ring laying on there, I can't say that I'm going to make a loud announcement. No.
I would have. Sean S says no one would have been able to leave. Listen, I would have said, "Ain't nobody leaving this damn dressing room, please." Hold on, wait a minute. Everybody back up.
I would have had Heather, and I would have had Heather blocking the door. So yeah, for sure.
And says Kate, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't always look before I flush. I mean, what am I looking at? It's in there now.
So what you looking at? If it's clear, if it's yellow.
I mean, I'm also not always, you know, doing it from this way either.
Well, yeah, that's true. That's true. Because I mean, looking at it, we can see when it come out, but I don't know. I still don't get why you would stand up and be like, "Oh."
No, I hate that for her. If she really and truly lost it, baby, because she was going through it. Hey, wait a minute, anybody's in the ring? Anybody's in the ring? Anyway,
like John gonna kick her when he find out.
John ain't gonna do nothing but say, "Oh, Lisa," and hear her complain more and more and more, like she always.
But hopefully it was like, you know, Mary said. Hopefully it's insured, child, and you could just, you know, get you another ring.
So this is my same thought with this is that you say you would hear it fall in the toilet. I think you would hear it hit the ground for sure. Yeah. Versus the toilet, I don't know. The toilet, you'd be like, whoop. But
especially if it didn't hit the side of the toilet.
Right, it's going bing, bing, bing. You know, who am I? I don't do ASMR. I'm just saying. I would think I would hear it hit the ground before the toilet. Yeah, whatever. So toilet gate, the toilet ring gate is what we're gonna call that until she. I'm sure it won't be a storyline, but
it was a nice ring though. It was a nice. That was a nice ring.
It was. So she's complaining about it, and like Mary is just like, well, girl, at some point you're gonna have to get over
it. I was thinking, like, damn, Mary, it just happened. Like, I know. And they so like walk on pins and needles. And Lisa was like, I mean, but it's still fresh. I was like, you better tell Mary to shut up.
Very much so. I would have been like, who asked you? You get over it.
You and your wig, calm down.
Right. Monica making her look fun, and so you know they pretty much get to the back. The scene goes back to the hotel, and we see Whitney and Angie. They're looking at the rooms. Like I said, the hotel looks nice. I watched the premiere of Trixie's hotel show, and I saw what it looked like beforehand, and it looks really good. Like it looks good.
So
It's not for me. Go ahead. Go ahead.
so is it really like Trixie's motel, or did they just kind of do that for the show?
No, she tore down an old motel and she like renovated it.
Okay, because I did see where the rooms cost anywhere from 550 to 750, 550 to 750 a night. So
So Palm Springs is, I'm obviously I live in LA. Palm
yeah,
Springs is like for retirement people.
yeah.
It's a lot of money out there, right? People go out
Mhm.
there, they retire, they get these homes. Those houses are very expensive. So it doesn't surprise me that she would
Yeah,
charge so much for a
definitely do,
hotel,
right.
considering where it is and her name is on it. You know what I'm saying? It looks nice. It's not my style, but in terms of like the whole, the
It's a
room,
lot of pink. I was like,
yeah, it just wasn't for me. But if you like Trixie, you like Pink, I thought it was cute for them.
and I think they are with it. From what I saw, there's a season 2. It may not be out yet, but there's a season 2 coming for that show as well. I saw that.
Yeah. She's shout out to Trixie. She's doing her thing with that. Like I like that they plugged it on the show too. Like that's big for her.
Trixie, shout out to you and your eyeshadow, Trixie.
Okay. So they look at rooms and Whitney decides that she's going to pick a room, even though she knows damn well that the host should pick first, but she's gonna be messy anyway, and she's gonna pick the room because she says that she arrived first. When in reality, she's supposed to be with everybody else, but she only arrived first because she is bringing somebody who she did not, who was not invited. Yeah. But we'll see how that's gonna go. We know how the things go on these trips with the housewives and the rooms and the beds. And so I'm just curious to see. We see the other girls getting to the hotel, and that's where it ends. To see, I guess we'll see next week their reactions, seeing that Angie K is there. But what do you think is going to be the problem? Like, do you think there'll be a problem? Do you think Meredith's gonna have a fit? Do you think Heather? What do you think gonna happen next week?
I definitely think there's gonna be a problem, and this is going to, because the trip is about building friendships and building trust and stuff like that. And so it's like, girl, now we talking about building trust, but I can't even trust you to tell me the truth about why it is that you decided to take a different flight. You took the flight with Angie because you was trying to, bring her on this trip to cause some drama. So it's definitely gonna be an issue, and I can for sure see Meredith gonna have an issue with it. Heather is gonna have an issue with it. Mary gonna throw her 2 cents in there as well. And not only that, y'all already done came. Mary is. Not only that, but y'all done came and picked y'all's room and stuff like that, and was asking questions about, well, should the host get the bigger room? And it was very not classy, but I'm looking forward to it. Like, I'm like, okay, this is gonna be, if it's not as good as I want it to be, I'm gonna be a little let down next week. But I was like, okay, this is gonna be good, especially how they just kind of walked out like, hey, like she was invited and met them outside. I was like, okay, this is gonna be good.
Well, considering that Mary doesn't really know Angie K, I don't think she'll have some comments to say on the side.
I think she'll just have some comments because it'll be like this extra person was there. She may not have any comments towards Angie. It may be towards Whitney for bringing this person and not telling anybody that the person was coming. And they all knew that she was not invited. So
I just hate that because, Whitney, like, I feel like we said it last week, me and Jamie, when she was talking about how her making a comment about the bathtub was shade. It was fun shade. And so she's kind of stepping into this. She's always been messy, but it's like she's trying to step into this. We can tell she's doing things for the show, for TV, because nobody should have to tell her that the host should have not, should better pick the best room. Like, stop it.
And she clearly wants some kind of an issue with Meredith.
Oh, wait, with who?
Meredith.
Oh yeah, of course. She's using Angie to make Meredith upset.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that's gonna go for her because Meredith be going off. I mean, she's not nobody to be scared of, but she will go off.
She gonna speak a piece. So
and so I hope Whitney is ready for that. I hope Whitney gets drunk. When she gets drunk is when we get the most entertaining yet annoying. Well, she's always annoying whether she's drunk or not. But I agree. Taylor being messy, yeah, is it like in this way? It's not cute. It's not. But she thinks it is. So we'll see how it works for her, and if it backfires or if it doesn't, we'll just see. Okay, so I put the link in the chat. Brittany, if you have any comments yourself, we have a time on all of our live shows where we allow callers to call in. I'll put the link in the chat again. You can call in. Anyone wants to call in, give us a few thoughts, give your opinions, anything you thought about the episode, anything related to Salt Lake City, you can call in and give us your thoughts. But outside of that, make sure y'all like this video and subscribe to the channel. As I mentioned earlier, New York it's gonna move to Monday. So beginning on Monday, it's gonna now take the spot of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Atlanta is gone for a while. Thank goodness. It was a great season. It was an okay season. We had a great season, myself, Antonio, Jasmine, Asia, and Dream, but it's over now. So Real Housewives of New York will take that Monday slot on Mondays at 8:30 Eastern. Tuesdays, it'll probably be blank for right now. We're just waiting for Salt Lake City to move up an hour, and then we'll probably go on live right after Salt Lake City airs on Tuesdays. But for now, we'll keep Salt Lake City here. There was no Love and Hip Hop Atlanta this week because the VMAs was on, so they didn't even show an episode. And then, as I said, this week's episode of New York is going to air tomorrow after the lunch and lean. So it looks like we don't have any callers.
Dang, Taylor didn't want to call in.
Nobody called in. That's fine. Listen, we can leave a little early. That's totally fine. Sean says, "Did you see Candy spoof on Sheree?" I saw Candy. I think Candy should leave Sheree alone after the way that Sheree made her look at their reunion. I think she should stop with the spoofs, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. So, with that being said, no callers. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Thank you, Antonio. Make sure y'all check out our other videos this week. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Some good content coming, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching. Welcome again, Brittany. And my background is loud. Yeah, I understand, child. My background be loud sometimes too, but not tonight. So I get it. But thank y'all for watching. We'll see y'all next time. Okay, y'all have a good night and have a good weekend.
Yes.
Peace.